Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 542nd Brotherhood YouTube battle. Just like I say, this is a really exciting barbarian invasion battle fought on a custom map, and this has got the potential to be a really great battle. Okay, our first teammate is barbarian invasion player Nestos, who has brought the Eastern Empire Rebels. Okay, a quick look at his army there, and this is an interesting army build here. You'll see that he's just got 4 infantry. Okay, just 4 infantry. Now there's a reason why he's only got 4 infantry. He's got 2 archers, let's say 4 infantry, and he's got 2 religious units there. But as I say, only 4 infantry, but there is a reason for that. And we're going to have a look at his cavalry. Okay, now he's got the elite Equite Clibinari cavalry, and just look at the upgrades on those cavalry. Fully upgraded, 9 upgrades, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now those of you that like figures might like to know that a fully upgraded Equite Clibinari costs 4,380 denarii. So each one of his cavalry units is costing 4,380 denarii. Now for that he gets a massive 38 defense and an 11 attack. Okay, remember these guys are armoured from head to toe, and they've got those rolling pins that they carry, but those are actually effective against armour maces. Okay, so fully upgraded Equite Clibinari there. Okay, and as I say, 4,380 denarii. Okay, as I say, and he's got, I think it's, let's have a look. I think, oh, there you go. Some of his cavalry, I think 2 of his cavalry units have just got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack, but 3 of them are fully upgraded. And then he's got another elite cavalry unit as his general unit there, the Imperial Household Bodyguard. Okay, these guys are also an elite cavalry unit and extremely difficult to kill. Okay, so he's gone very, very heavy on well upgraded cavalry there, but only 4 infantry. Okay, he's got the 2 religious items. Remember, in barbarian invasion, morale is extremely important, and the religious units that you bring give that extra morale bonus to your troops, keep them fighting longer. But as I say, do you think that fully upgraded cavalry are going to make up for just 4 infantry units? I guess we'll just have to see as the battle unfolds. Okay, our next teammate is a Brotherhood member, Finrod Felagund. A lot of you know him as Wolves Cappy, but he's a Finrod Felagund now, and he's bought the Romano-British faction. Now these British legionnaires are good, solid infantry. They can throw pilers. You can see them carrying pilers there in their shield hand. They can throw 3 pilers each and are really good quality, good, solid infantry. So it'll be interesting to see how he uses. Also, I noticed he's bought another unit here, and these are the Foederati infantry. Now these are spearmen, anti-cavalry, so my guess is he may well use these as pilot shield units there, not only just to soak up pilers but to counter cavalry. And of course he's got the Grail Knights. Now remember, these Grail Knights have got such good specifications, you only get 32 of them instead of the usual 54-man cavalry units. Okay, as you know, most cavalry units are 54, you only get 32 of them because they're so good. So that's a pretty good Romano-British army there. And notice once again, he's got a religious item there to give his troops extra morale there. As I say, morale is so important in barbarian invasion. So that's a pretty good army there, but no missile troops. He's got no archers. Now will that be a problem later on in the battle? Our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's bought the Roman Western Empire army here. Okay, now I've got some different units in this army. I've got these guys here. These are the Auxiliary Palatina, really good anti-cavalry troops, but also you can put them into shield wall, spear shield walls in front of your main battle formation. Then I've got the Plumbartrite. Remember, these guys can throw probably at least 20 missiles, those metal tipped darts. And then I've got the 122-man Eagle units, the Comitatenses first cohort Eagle units there as well. So I've got quite a lot of firepower. Of course, I've also got a religious unit there, as I say before, just to keep morale, extra morale for my troops, keep them fighting longer. Okay, and my cavalry are the, if you look here, you'll see that they are the Sarmatian Auxiliary Cavalry. They've got quite good upgrades on, so they're pretty good cavalry as well. So there's our team there. Okay, we've got Nestos with Rome. We've got Finrod there with Romano British, and myself here with the Roman army. Should be a great battle for you to watch. And here is the enemy team. We have Brotherhood member Demon, who's got the Roman Eastern Empire faction here. That seems to be his faction of choice. I'd like to draw your attention here. Can you see that he's got two peasant units, 120-man peasant units there, and they're going to act as his pilot shield units, his missile shield units there. And then he's got his plumbarteries. Now remember, each one of those plumbartery units can throw at least 20 missiles. So the firepower that he's got in his army there is absolutely amazing. And that could really tell during the course of the battle. And then he's got his equitae clibanarii, and as I say, those are effective against armor maces that those cavalry carry there. So I think that's an interesting army there, and I think those peasant as pilot shield units could prove quite interesting during the course of the battle. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman, who's bought his faction of choice for barbarian invasion, and that is the Saxons. Can you see here he's got Levy Spearmen. Now these are cheap 120-man units, but they also throw missiles. They throw spears as well. So not only can you use them as pilot shield units, but they can also cause casualties by throwing their spears. And then he's got his hearth troops. Now make no mistake, these Saxon hearth troops are absolutely elite infantry. You put good upgrades on them and they are really good infantry. And then of course you've got the chosen axemen. Remember, these guys are effective against armor, and they love nothing more than chopping up heavily armored troops like Roman infantry, for instance. Okay, so he's got quite a good army there, and I notice he's got just a cavalry general there, a mounted noble cavalry general there. So that's a pretty interesting army there. Notice no archers there, so it'll be interesting to see how Barclayman uses that army during the course of the battle. And their last teammate is a Brotherhood member at Lake Damon, who has bought the Roman Eastern Empire. Now he's got an unusual army build here because he's got the Legio Lanciarii. Okay, if you look close at these guys, these Legio Lanciarii are spearmen. Okay, so they're all, obviously, as they got spears, they're anti-cavalry, but also they're good at fighting infantry as well. So as you can see, that the bulk of his army are the spearmen there. And then he's got 4 archer units there. Now these archer units are medium range and they've got no armor. And of course he has got his equitae clibanarii effective against armor cavalry as well. So I think that's a pretty good army there, and it'll be interesting to see how well he does with that during the course of the battle. Okay, so there's the enemy team. You've got Demon with Rome, you've got Barclayman with Saxons, and you've got Lake Damon with Rome there. Okay, so at this stage of the battle, I'd just like to give a shout out to Brotherhood member Man 2. And there you are, you can see he's spectating the battle. Now what there was only 7 of us for this particular battle, and we waited for a while, but we couldn't seem to get an 8th, so he volunteered to actually spectate in this battle there. Now we know he loves playing Barbarian Invasion, so it's quite a big thing for him to volunteer to spectate to allow us to play. So thanks very much to Man 2 there for volunteering to spectate there. Okay, something I just want to show you, a tactical part of the battlefield here. Can you see that the Saxons are up on slightly higher ground there? If you look there, you'll see that they're kind of like up on a ridge, and what I want to do, if I can, is run my Roman army up to try and get onto level ground there, maybe with the Saxons. But whether I'll be able to do that before they stop me, we'll just have to wait and see as the battle unfolds. But don't make no mistake, I'll be trying to get to that slightly higher ground. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm running my Roman army forward, trying to get up onto level ground there with the enemy. Now, whether the Saxon general there will see that what I'm trying to do here and move his troops forward to try and counter my Roman troops getting up onto level ground there, we'll just have to see. You can see the Saxon general running his troops forward here, but I'm just trying to get up onto this level ground here so that they won't have the slightly uphill advantage there. Okay, so it's not really a hill, it's just like the ground is slightly sloping down towards us. So as you can see, I'm trying to run my Roman army up to try and get on level ground here, but you can see the Saxon general can see that, and he's starting to move his troops forward to counter me from moving up the hill anymore, or moving up the slope anymore there. As I say, they've got a slight up slope advantage there, if you like. It's definitely not a hill, but as you can see, the ground does slope down towards us, and I've decided I'm not going to move forward anymore there because they've managed to grab that slightly higher part of the slope there. Okay, so as I say here, you can see the enemy now forming up, and you can see the Saxon general there moving his 2 polishers, those levy spearmen. Now, as I say, remember those levy spearmen could throw spears as well, and as you can see here, they got slightly a higher ground advantage there, so their spears will do more damage to my infantry than what they would normally do there. Okay, so as you can see there, it'll be interesting to see if the enemy are going to attack us now, or they're going to try and get us to attack uphill. But as you can see, those levy spearmen are moving forward, probably looking to get into range there of my forward units there. Okay, let's say I've got my spear wall there, and I've got all my missile troops behind that spear shield wall. But there you can see those levy spearmen there moving forward, as I say, probably with a view to getting a bit closer to my forward units there, and then start throwing in some missiles. My guess is there, with that slightly higher ground, they probably will be in range now, and they will start throwing in missiles. There you go. You can see they're throwing their spears into my spear shield wall there. That's a lot of missiles that are going into them. But as I say, those levy spearmen are cheap units, so probably the impact of their spears won't be that much. And when you've got a shield wall, they seem to be able to absorb missiles a lot better than ordinary units out of shield wall formation. Now, what the Saxon general would like here is for me, let's just pause the game for a second. What the Saxon general would like there with his 2 cheap units is for me to start opening fire with my pilers and metal tip darts there to kill his cheap units, sparing his elite units from my missiles. But I'm not going to do that, obviously. I'm not going to throw my missiles into those peasants or those levy spearmen. What I'm going to try and do is use my archers here to take out those levy spearmen, just to get them out of the way, so that when I do start throwing my missiles, they're not going to be wasted on those cheap units. Okay, so that's what my thing is to do there now, try and take out those units with my archers. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you will see that the enemy team here are moving the Saxon army and a Roman army over to our left flank here with a view to double team our Romano-British ally there, Finrod. Okay, so that's what they look like they're going to do there, and Finrod's doing the right thing here. He is doing a tactical withdrawal. Obviously, he doesn't want to be attacked by 2 armies there, so he's going to do a withdrawal there. You can see that Amnestos has moved his 4 infantry units in with my army. Okay, so he's integrated his 4 infantry units with my army, plus he's got his religious unit there as well. If you notice, he's moved his fully upgraded Equitai Clibanarii cavalry out to the right there. But as you can see, the enemy team are on slightly higher ground, so when we attack, or if we attack, we will be kind of going up a slope a bit there, so they will have a bit of an advantage. But as I say, Finrod here is doing the right thing, moving his Romano-British army back there, because obviously he doesn't want to be attacked by 2 armies there. Okay, now as I say, you can see that Demon has put his peasants in front of his main army there to soak up my pilers. But as you can see here, the enemy team there are trying to target Finrod's Romano-British army there with the Rome army and a Saxon army there. Okay, now here I've shot all the arrows from my archers. They fired all their arrows, so now I'm going to auto-attack them into these peasants. The peasants are a bit of a nuisance really, because as I say, I don't want to waste my metal tip darts and my pilers on these peasants. So if I can take them out, and then I can then concentrate my missiles onto the elite enemy infantry instead of these. Okay, you can see there that Demon's bought a heavy infantry unit in there to try and rout my archers, because he can see what I'm doing, trying to take out his piler shield units. So of course he doesn't want that, so he's probably going to take out my archers now with this heavy infantry unit. But as I say, those peasant units are a bit of a nuisance there. Because if I do put my troops on auto fire, then of course all my expensive pilers and darts will go into those peasants, and that's a kind of a waste, because obviously I want to target the more elite enemy infantry units there. Okay, you can see a lot of missiles here. Remember, those spear units that Lake Damon has got can throw spear missiles into my troops. You can see here that Amnestos has got his troops on auto fire there, and they're shooting into the enemy there. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So you can see here that Lake Damon has moved his spear army forward there to attack the flank of my troops. Okay, so that's going to be a big hit on my troops. You've got the Saxon troops over there ready to attack our Romano-British ally, plus you got Demon's Roman troops here ready to attack my troops. As I say, there's already a lot of missiles coming in both directions here. And during the course of the battle, you'll see that the sky is kind of like filled with missiles coming into us and going out to them as well. As you can see, the missiles that are coming in. Remember, those missiles can do a heck of a lot of damage there. Let's say, just look at the sky there. You can see the amount of missiles that's coming in on us. We've got fire arrows coming on us as well. We're throwing our pilers now. I think most of those peasants are dead, so now our missiles can now hit their elite infantry as their missiles are hitting my elite infantry there. You can see, look at the missiles. It's like a blizzard of missiles there. Some going out hitting the enemy team, and some coming in to hit my troops as well. It's just a blizzard of missiles there coming in. As I say, those plumbarteri, they throw at least 20 of those metal-tipped darts. And the amount of fire, look at those missiles coming in there, just causing loads of casualties. It wouldn't surprise me if they absolutely decimated my infantry with the amount. Look at those missiles coming in there, decimating my infantry, especially with that slightly higher ground advantage they've got as well. It's literally raining metal-tipped darts down onto my infantry, and make no mistake, that's taking a massive toll of my forward infantry units there. Just look at that blizzard of metal-tipped darts coming in. I mean, that is absolutely amazing, really, the firepower that's coming in there. And as you can see here, Late Damon is now attacking with his spearmen there, coming in on my troops. Right, now remember, I just want to show you something here. Can you see these two forward units of mine with all those darts coming on, all those metal-tipped darts coming in? Let's just pause the game for a second here. Now, those are 120-man units, okay? So those units there are the same as these, got 120-man units, okay, and they've been reduced to 11. That's just from firepower. They haven't got into any hand-to-hand fighting. That is just enemy firepower there has reduced a 120-man unit down to 11, and that's a 120-man unit been reduced to 22 men, and those spearmen are coming in on them as well. Okay, also those spearmen are going into the rear of my spear shield wall as well. They're attacking it, and their cavalry is smashing in there as well. But AM Nestos, look, with his fully upgraded cavalry, have charged in from the flank, smashing into the rear of those engaged enemy purple Roman troops. So that's a massive hit there from his cavalry. Over here, remember that those British legionnaires can throw pilers, and you can see that Barclayman has lost a few casualties there of his Saxon half troops. And also, can you see that Finrod has got his Grail Knights out there on the left flank? But there's something I want to show you, a very old-fashioned tactic, this. If you look at his Grail Knights, can you see, do you remember he had those two spear units in his army? And he's integrated those fast-moving spear units in with his cavalry. Okay, this is a very, very old-fashioned tactic here. So he had now attacked with his cavalry and those spear units. So if the enemy did a counter-attack him with cavalry, he would have anti-cavalry spearmen plus his own cavalry there to counter that attack. Very old-fashioned tactic. You saw that used right back at the beginning of Rome Total War when people started to use tactics like that. Okay, as I say, you can see AM Nestos' cavalry charging there, and bang, as he smashes in there. And you can see the enemy cavalry counter-attacking there, and bang, as they've smashed into his cavalry. You can see the enemy purple Roman army moving down towards my guys. You can see the enemy cavalry counter-attacking AM Nestos' green cavalry there. Remember, the purple there are the enemy, and the green and red are us. Okay, you can see some more enemy cavalry coming down that slight slope there into our green allies cavalry there. You can see I've charged my cavalry in as well. Now look at the penetration of my Sarmatian auxiliary cavalry are really pushing in to the enemy troops there. Okay, you can see, look at the impact and penetration there. Okay, but I don't want to hang around fighting infantry too long. I'm going to need to pull my cavalry back out from that. AM Nestos' green Clibanarii cavalry are charging in there as well. But we've got the enemy purple Clibanarii, Equitoi Clibanarii fighting us as well. They're counter-attacking. You can see them using their effective against armour maces there against each other. But as I say, AM Nestos, his cavalry, don't forget, is fully upgraded there. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So he's going to do really well. Okay. But you can see here, as I say, the enemy purple troops there have got that slight higher slope advantage there as they're moving down towards us. You can still see some of my shield wall units are still holding there. Those spear shield wall units are still holding, so I'm pleased with that. But over here on our left flank, you can see that Barclayman with his elite Saxon infantry has now got into a close quarter combat with those British legionnaires of Finrod there, okay? Okay, so he's in a lot of combat over there against those really effective Saxon infantry. Let's just pause the game for a second here. So to say here, you can see the Saxon Hearth troops and the effective against armour axemen there are making inroads into our Romano-British allies troops there. Okay, so Finrod's troops there are getting a real taste of effective against armor axemen. As I say, you got all this purple infantry here. They've thrown most of their missiles, decimated a lot of my infantry, and they're all moving down that slope towards my infantry. Okay, now I've moved my cavalry out here onto the left flank because what I want to do is get behind those attacking Saxon troops and charge in. Now remember, newer players to Rome Total War or Barbarian Invasion, when you play a team game, it's just that. You play as a team, you look after each other, you keep an eye on the back of each other, like, you know, and so I move my cavalry over there to help Finrod here against the aggressive attack of those Saxon troops there. Okay, so I'm going to look to smash into the rear of those engaged Saxon troops there. Okay, here comes my cavalry. Okay, my cavalry is battle damaged, but it's still quite powerful there. I'm going to go in and hammer and anvil attack. Look, we've got the Grail Knights and my cavalry charging there, and bang, as I smash into the rear of those engaged Saxon troops there. Hammer and anvil attack there. As I say, you can see the Romano-British Grail Knights and infantry is the anvil, and my cavalry was the hammer there as I've charged in there. Okay, but meanwhile here you can see that Nestos has moved his green infantry units and cavalry units forward here to fight the enemy purple troops. Okay, remember here we are the green and the red, and the enemy are the purple Romans here. As I say, don't forget that Nestos' cavalry was fully upgraded, and he has just put them into melee now, fighting both infantry and cavalry. Okay, so he'll be killing a lot of enemy troops there with those elite cavalry, but remember he only had 4 infantry. Okay, so will that fully upgraded cavalry make up for having 4 infantry? We'll just have to wait and see. Once again, you can see I've charged my cavalry again into the rear of those Saxon infantry there. As I say, don't forget, as I said earlier, team battles are just that. You look after each other as a team, and very often you will go on to win the battle. So you can see there, that's why I've got my cavalry over there helping my Romano-British ally. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So, can you see I'm taking infantry out round the flank of the enemy purple troops there. Okay, I want to get in, I want to get above them if I can. I've got infantry out there as well, holding the flank. I'm going to attack with that unit there, and I'm going to bring my general forward as well to make sure I give the general morale bonus. And don't forget that Nestos has already got his infantry and cavalry there as well. I've got my religious unit there just behind them, chanting, giving morale to my fighting troops. But over here, as I say, if myself and Finrod here can take out the Saxon army, that would be a great help then, because then we can move all our troops over to attacking the enemy Roman purple troops there. As I say, I've got my cavalry in there charging into the rear, but as I say, look at the number of those purple infantry that are coming against us. I think Nestos has lost most of his cavalry, and he's just got a couple of his infantry units left here. Look at these enemy Roman troops are charging into the rear of my engaged red Roman troops there. Okay, those units look a bit isolated and look like they could get taken out. But you can see there a lot of enemy purple Roman troops are moving down that slope to attack my troops. My general is under attack there by some enemy Roman troops there as well. And you can see more enemy troops that are charging in. Now if you notice, look at the rear of the enemy troops. Can you see I've got my cavalry in behind them? But you can see here the enemy being very aggressive here with the infantry that are charging into my infantry. But as I say, I've got my cavalry in behind them now, so we are now on top of that slope. So when I charge now, we will have that slight slope downhill advantage going into the rear of the engaged enemy troops. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is charge down here. If you notice here, my Romano-British ally's got his cavalry units up there as well. And we're both going to charge in together here into the rear of those engaged enemy purple Roman troops there, and bang! And we smash into the rear of those troops there, routing a couple on impact there. Now look at that, I've got a couple of my infantry units there, look, fighting, but they've really been reduced a lot, I think. My cavalry did well there in routing a lot of the enemy infantry, but look, I've got 6 men in that one unit there. Is it 6 men? 2 men, sorry, and 4 men in the other, and they're about to rout. 1 man left in that unit, and he's just been taken out. So those 2 units of mine have just been routed by the enemy. Let's just pause the game for a second there. Okay, so I've lost 2 good units there. You've got purple enemy Roman purple infantry rallying there, coming back into the fray. And meanwhile, over on our left flank here, those Saxon troops have caused a lot of casualties to our Romano-British ally. Okay, now will those effective against armour axemen prevail here against our Romano-British ally, or will those Romano-British Legionnaires win the day? We'll just have to wait and see. I see he's thrown in some Grail Knights in there as well. But if his general gets killed, then that could be problems for us there. Okay, so you can see now that I've moved up a little bit onto that slope. It's starting to attack those enemy purple Roman troops there. But as you can see in the background there, a lot of the enemy troops are rallying and coming back into the fray there. Okay, so I've got my general engaged here now. I've even thrown in my religious unit. Okay, I've even thrown in my religious unit there to try and protect my general. Because, as I say, the enemy will be trying to target my general there. And over here on our left flank, okay, the Saxons have routed the Romano-British ally of ours. Okay, so all of Finrod's infantry, after a fierce fight, has now been routed. And those couple of battle-damaged Saxon axemen are now coming back into the fray. My guess is that he will try and attack my general unit there if he can. Meanwhile, here you can see I've got my infantry up there attacking those enemy purple troops, but I know my general's in danger. As I say, I've got my priests here fighting within my general unit here, trying to defend the general here against the enemy troops. And you can see those Saxon axemen coming in behind me there, and bang, as they charge in there with their effective against armour axes. Okay, so I'm being attacked from the front by enemy purple Roman troops and those Saxon effective against armour axemen coming in behind me, trying to take my general out. So it's time now. I'm going to bring my infantry and cavalry down here to try and relieve my general here, and bang, as my cavalry smashes in to that Roman unit there. But those effective against armour Saxon troops there are still attacking, still killing my general unit. So what I'm doing, I'm bringing my infantry down from the if you like, the higher part of the slope down here to attack that Saxon unit there, to stop him taking out my general. Because remember, morale is so important in this game. If you get your general taken out and lose that morale bonus, that could cost you the game. You can see enemy purple troops are coming in, attacking my troops there. Can you see the down slope advantage that they've got now? I move my infantry down that slope to help my general. So now I'm down, if you like, at the bottom of the slope there with them attacking. There's another unit coming in there, attacking as well. So this is going to go right down to the wire, make no mistake about that. But here comes my cavalry. Now, are they going to make a difference? Look at my battle damaged cavalry coming down that slope into the rear of those troops. Bang, as that first unit hits, and then bang, as that next unit hits there. Those next units smash into the rear of those enemy Roman troops there. And it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle there. Okay, you can see how intense this battle was. Now, bearing in mind this is only a 3v3 battle. I've got 5 men left in that unit, 19 men in that unit, seems a lot, and 2 men left in that unit. That's all I've got for my cavalry. My infantry, look, that's 27 men in that unit. That is a 120 man unit reduced at 58. That's a 120 man unit reduced to 14, and my general unit was a 120 man unit reduced to 59. So you can see it was a real battle of attrition there. And you can see, I think all my allies' units have been taken out, and it's just my units left here at the moment. And as you can see, as I say, a very intense battle here by just looking at the piles of dead all the way from one flank to the other. As I say, it's only a 3v3 battle this, but with the amount of dead on the ground, it looks more like a 4v4. And as I say, it was very, very intense from one flank to the other. This is where our Romano-British ally was trying to hold against all those Saxon infantry there. And that's where I brought my cavalry over to help him as well. So as I say, our Romano-British ally there did really well, holding as long as he did against those Saxon troops. And then we come up into an even more intense part of the battlefield here, where so many of our troops were killed by missiles there. So as I say, it just looks like just my units left there now from the whole battle. So bearing in mind that they had slightly higher slope ground there, I thought that the team didn't do too badly there. The first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. Well played, guys. Was a great battle there. Really played really well. Highest kills in the game, and my Roman army managed to scrape in that 1,993. Bearing in mind this is a 3v3. That's not too bad kills there, so I'm quite pleased with that. But well done to Brotherhood member Demon there. Did well with his army. Did you see the missiles that are raining in on my troops? Did really well there. Well done to Barking Man with his Saxon troops there. Got some really good kills, 1,440. And well done to Lake Damon there. Possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to, but he was very aggressive with his attack. So really well played, guys. As I say, well done to Man 2 for volunteering to spectate for the battle. As I say, my army did quite good there. And well done to AM Nestos, 1,291. Bearing in mind he only have 4 infantry units. I think that's some really good kills. And well done to Finrod. Possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he had a fundamental job of holding our left flank for as long as he did. Let's have a look at the battle statistics there. General didn't do too bad, but look at the archers, those cheap archers that I bring, and they are cheap. 133 and 100 kills for those 2 cheap archers. Look at the cavalry kills there, 191, 106, 232 one of my cavalry units got. So the archers and cavalry did extremely well. But if you look at the infantry, they didn't do very good. Look, I've lost all those men for small kills. So the infantry, actually, in this battle, didn't do very good. It was the cavalry and the archers that did most of the killing there. The Plumbartroi did a lot of killing there, because, of course, they're throwing those metal darts into the enemy team. And the poor old priests wiped out to a man without killing a single enemy troop. But then they are religious, so they shouldn't be killing anybody anyway. So, just to say, I hope you enjoyed this battle. I hope you're looking forward to the Rome Total War Remastered coming out tomorrow, Thursday. I'm looking forward to seeing how good that the remastering is going to be. Okay, this is Spartan Commander saying, hope you enjoyed the battle. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.